Rare scene in politics. 3 American presidents together in New York City in a sign of party unity. But much of their focus and attacks were about the other guy from the other party, who also held the Oval Office.
We got 3 presidents in the building tonight.
A presidential trifecta at Radio City Music Hall. Joe Biden enlisting former presidents Obama and Clinton for a historic fundraiser that was closed to video cameras except for the campaigns.
That sounds like a party to me.
Biden raising more than $25 million, adding to his growing war chest, which far outpaces Trump's. But money is not Biden's only weapon. The president sharpening his personal attacks, going after Trump the way Trump belittles his opponents.
I'd be happy to play. I told him once before, I said, I'll give you 3 strokes if you carry your own bag.
And it got tougher from there.
A little old and out of shape.
Biden's staffers now calling Trump feeble, confused, and weak. But as we learned in 2016, beating Trump at his own game is not easy.
Have you seen his hands? They're like this. And you know what they say about men with small hands? You can't trust them.
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem.
I was there that night. It really happened. Here with me today, podcast host and author of the bestseller Burn Book, Kara Swisher. Editor-in-chief of The Dispatch and columnist at the LA Times, Jonah Goldberg. New York Times journalist and podcast host Lulu Garcia Navarro. And editor-in-chief of the Washington Free Beacon, Eliana Johnson. Welcome back, everyone. Good to have you here. Kara, when it comes to personal insults and trolling, can Biden out-Trump Trump?
I don't think he has to out-Trump Trump. He has to be Biden. I think he's actually quite good at it. He was good at it the last election cycle, the come on man, the thing that he does. So I think he's just got to be genuine to himself when he's doing it. And that was a good dig. And this is where politics is with Trump. You have to sort of meet him there. And Trump could be rather thin-skinned when it happens. And maybe he'll hit back. But I think Biden's pretty good at it, actually.
Eliana, Biden's staffers are reportedly test marketing various insults like broke Don and low energy Don, both of which I think are kind of weak. And the question I have, what do we think of the chances that Biden or his staff can come up with a killer nickname like Crooked Hillary? And should he even try?
Don't think it's a good idea. Look, Trump has shown that nobody can outdo him at this game, but you can tell that the Team Biden feels the need to keep the attention on Trump. And they know that to the extent Trump is dominating the headlines, they can keep the attention on him and not talk about the Biden administration's record. That is good for him. I'm sorry, though, calling him old and feeble is not going to make up for the fact that their own guy is old and feeble. That's a losing argument.
I think social media, we live in a social media age. And I think, there's things like Don Corleone. That's actually a pretty good one. But that wasn't the Biden people. Their social media is excellent. The Biden team, whoever's running it, is really smart and focuses a lot on the policy. And so I think you have to operate in these zones, no matter how you slice it, because the press pays attention, other politicians pay attention, and it creates memes that move along.
Yeah, so I agree with you that he shouldn't try to out-Trump Trump, and that going after Trump in a way is good fan service for his own base, and he needs to show that he's fighting and stuff. But I agree with Eliana that specifically the terms old and feeble, if it's a debate about who's older and feebler, I don't think those are on Biden's turf. That's not Biden's turf.
Although if he shows himself to be vibrant, which he did at this event, he's shown it to be at the State of the Union address, then it becomes interesting. Why not shove it back in his face?
I think he has to show that he's out there, that he's vigorous, and unfortunately we are in the I'm, rubber and you're glue and whatever I say sticks back to you. I mean, that's kind of where we're at now in terms of these two men. They're both old, and so them pointing fingers at each other is just where we're at.
Lulu, let me pick up another aspect of this, which was that fundraiser. Is it smart, is it effective politics for Biden to enlist Obama and to enlist Clinton? And specifically, can they help him shore up his support, which is sagging among younger voters, especially young black men and young Hispanic men?
Biden's poll numbers are up. So let's not talk about sagging. We're not talking about his skin. We're talking about his poll numbers. So that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say is that his poll numbers are up because now we're in a general election. And so what we're seeing now is actually this push into a general election where he's actually going and taking his message to the people. And Obama and Clinton are popular, unlike the GOP, who really have no one to campaign with. I mean, this is a completely different party. George W. Bush has nothing to do with Trump. And let me just read a list here. Mike Pence, John Kelly, Mark Milley, John Bolton, Mark Esper, these were all people who were in the Trump administration and now disavow former President Trump. So, you know, you've got a very different kettle of fish here between Biden, who has former presidents who he's able to sort of campaign with, and what Trump has.
I was hoping W would come out of the floor. I was waiting for that. I was like, W's showing
Actually,
up.
I went from the ceiling kind of swinging and like
a former president.
Yes,
Jonah,
just-
I want to pick up on this question of predecessors.
Yeah.
Reportedly, Obama was in the White House last week for several hours talking hard tax campaign strategy with the Biden team. How smart do you think it is, or do you think it really is going to help for Biden to hitch up to the degree possible with Obama and Clinton?
Well, look, I kind of agree with Lulu in the sense that Biden's brand is still, I mean, I agree his poll numbers are going up, but like his brand is still pretty weak. Attaching yourself to more popular brands makes sense. And even broader than that, I mean, you look at the surrogates that Trump has available to him. They basically just reinforce a narrow coalition. Biden has a much broader coalition. I think the one really false note was they initially build this, going to your point about social media, someone thought it was smart to build this as a grassroots fundraiser.
Yeah.
This was not a grassroots
I think the
fundraiser.
top ticket was $500,000